a lot of QA testers will say, you know, I break things for a living. That's what I do. Effectively, to a point, that is what you're doing. You're looking for, you know, those little gaps in the system that maybe need to be shored up a little bit.
You are listening to the Spearline Podcast. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Spearline Podcast. This episode, we speak to Quality Assurance Manager Patrick O'Connor and the head of the support team, Noel Ryan.
Hi, Noel.
Hi, Josh.
So, Spearline is data that carriers are sometimes not aware of, like issues on networks in their time. Does Spearline work with carriers?
Yeah, so Spearline works with a lot of carriers. We've a lot of carriers as customers, and we work with carriers to resolve issues where and when we can.
Yeah.
And the main difference between us and carriers is carriers are reactive and Spearline is proactive.
Oh, okay. And why are carriers reactive? Like, I mean,
So carriers would have carriers would only react if they have a customer complaint.
Yeah.
And they work on managing and maintaining their networks. We test all their numbers and we can let them know when these numbers are actually down. So global infrastructure is unpredictable by nature. And there's various reasons for outages across the world, like politics, economics. So like it could be civil unrest in the country,
yeah.
or it could be down to like literally people stealing the copper wires and selling them on.
Really?
Yeah. We've seen that loads of times. Like,
Oh,
you know?
I didn't realize that was such a common issue.
is,
Like, yeah.
And then when all hands on deck, it just shows there's efficient communication between the teams, between testing, CE, NOC, development if needed.
Yeah.
But like everybody stands up and gets involved, sorts out the issue.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Josh. We do various things. You know, one of the big things we do is we want to make sure that if the guys add a new feature, it doesn't break existing functionality.
Okay.
Which can sometimes happen.
Yeah.
So we have what's called a regression suite for that, which means even though the new feature is in the numbers section, we'll also check the campaign section.
Okay.
We'll also check the manual tester. Things like that.
So you have a set reaction, like...
Yeah, you never know what happened under the hood, or, you know, some weird knock-on effect might have happened. So that's a big part of what we do, is making sure that the new stuff doesn't break the old stuff.
Do you ever sit with focus groups and pick up anything you might have missed, or do you just wait for all the feedback first?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, as kind of we see ourselves a little bit as the customer representative, it's no good trying to do your job if you don't know how the customer uses it.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky here that we have a CE team
Uh-huh.
who, you know, engage with the customers, obviously. So from talking to them, you kind of get a feel for how the platform actually gets used.
How the customers think and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So one of the early things I noticed was we allow CSV imports for numbers. So you can bulk import numbers. It's a handy feature for new customers.
Yeah.
But we had difficulties testing that. Just, you know, for technical reasons I won't go into here. It's a different podcast. But so we slightly ignored that area because it was just one button to say that's fine. No, we can do all the other stuff. We test everything else. That's fine. But then from sitting down with the CE guys, I realized that importing is what a lot of customers do, because they would have 10,000 numbers.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay somebody to sit there for 3 weeks and do it manually. Yeah. So they do it the automatic way. So that made us kind of realize that, look, this CSV stuff, this import and export stuff, that's very important.
Yeah.
So now we know that any time
To focus on it.
to focus on that. Yeah. So, you know, we now have that testing coverage in there. We figured out the technical issues. You know, it means anytime a request comes in around import and export, you know, we got to be sharp. We got to be on our toes. We got to make sure that it works. It's not kind of a throwaway thing. Yeah. And that's something that we wouldn't have learned if we hadn't talked to the CE team. Yeah. So
If you would like to find out more about how Spearline can help you, please contact us at spearline.com. And for more insights and in-depth interviews like these, you can subscribe to the Spearline Podcast channel, and don't forget to check out spearline.com, where you can find all of our latest articles, white papers, and much more. Till next time, and thank you for listening to the Spearline Podcast.